Hey everybody, Charles for HumbleMechanic.com. Today, I'm talking Project White Wookie, recapping 2015 and looking ahead to 2016. This is episode 120 of the Humble Mechanic Podcast. All right, so one of the things I like to do at the end of the year is take a look back and see what happened throughout the year. So 2015 was an incredible year. I had a lot of really awesome things happen, and I'm excited to sort of relive some of that. I'm also ultra pumped and ultra excited to look forward to 2016 because I think 2016 is going to be kind of the pivotal year for the Humble Mechanic. All right, before we get into the show, let's talk about the sponsor of the day, which is Rain Eater Wiper Blades. Having good quality wiper blades is incredibly important. Wiper blades are also one of the easiest DIYs out there. So if you want a great quality wiper blade at an awesome price, check out Rain Eater Wiper Blades at raineater.com. They also have this really cool automatic reordering system. You set how many you want per year, and just about the time you're ready for new wiper blades, some arrive in the mail. So again, check them out at raineater.com. All right, 2015, what a freaking year for the Humble Mechanic. It started out early in the year with some really cool collaborations with Jason from Engineering Explained. We paired up and did a DSG Explained video that is actually linked from Volkswagen. There's a lot of people in the Volkswagen world that I've talked to that have seen that video and watch it to learn how these transmissions work, which, you know, to have the manufacturer link to you on a video that you did is incredibly cool. We also have a few more videos coming out soon, so be sure to stay tuned for that. That wasn't my only time hanging out with Jason, though. Him and I actually got to go to the Indy 500 and Coca-Cola 600, what they call doing the double, where you watch the Indy 500, you fly to Concord, and then watch the Coca-Cola 600. An insane experience. I got to fly in a private jet, which is not something that I ever in my life thought I would be able to do. We got to learn all about Shell V-Power Nitro Plus just before it came out, which was really neat. We had a really cool virtual reality experience from Ocular Rift, which was neat. You got to see how fuel flowed through the fuel system in from the tank to, you know, the combustion chamber, which was a really interesting experience. It's the first time I've done that kind of, you know, where you wear the big glasses. So that was a lot of fun and very educational. And not to mention watching the Indy 500 and the Coca-Cola 600, my second Indy race and my first NASCAR race, was such an experience. Like I mentioned, I do this kind of recap every year. So what I did was I went back and watched last year's recap video of 2014 and my future predictions of 2015. Some of the things that I wanted to do in 2015 were go to SEMA, and I did it. Of course, the beginning of November, we had the SEMA show in Las Vegas. Not only did I get to attend the show, but I got to talk to and meet a ton of really cool people out at both of the two shows. Got to hang out with my buddy Jason again, hang out with Eric the Car Guy, as well as got to meet Chris Fix. You guys may have seen some of the collab videos that we've done over on the Blown Heads channel. Be sure to put a link, you can check that out. Sort of the beginning of us trying to figure out what would really be cool for the four of us to pair up and do. The SEMA show was nuts. I did a video about it. You can check that out. I'll put a link down in the video notes. Such a crazy, insane experience that it's really hard to put into words just how much stuff is at the SEMA show. I also picked up a 98 GTI with a VR6. You guys have so lovingly called the White Wookie. 2015 didn't really bring a ton of work on the GTI. I think really the only thing I did was put the Eurowise coolant flange housing as well as the crack pipe. That was a really big DIY. You can check that DIY out in the Project White Wookie playlist if you'd like. I also did a tour video of the car where we walk around the car, talk about some of the things that I want to do to it, some of the plans that I have for it, and that was before I had done any work on this car. And there'll be more about what rehabbing we're going to do on the GTI in just a minute. At the shop in 2015, I got a promotion to shop foreman, which has pulled me off the line, and now I'm doing more of a workflow management type thing, a lot more training than I had been doing before. That's been a big learning experience for me, opened my eyes up to a lot of things that either I didn't know or I didn't understand or I thought were really dumb. Some of those things I still think are really dumb. But it's been a cool experience to sort of have the entire shop in mind instead of my one little bay, you know, my one narrow path, my own paycheck. That's been it's been good for me. I think stepping out of the direct focus of me only in the shop. It's helped me understand the workflow of the shop. It's helped me understand working with different people and their personalities in a different way than I had before. We've also picked up several sponsors this year. We had Deutsch Auto Parts that has been with us for a really long time, over a year now. So shout out to Shop DAP, CRP, which are the folks that brought me to SEMA this year. big sponsor there, as well as Rain Eater wiper blades like I mentioned in the beginning of the show. You know, because of that, I was able to rehab the shop. Go back and watch last year's video. One, it's a terrible video. I think I've gotten a lot better at this in the year, but you'll see what the shop looked like back then versus what it looks like now. I did a tour of the entire shop. You know, the whole thing's been redone. It's a lot nicer of a place to work, not only on cars, but to do these videos for you. So I'm very, very happy to be able to have done all that and make a better quality show. And finally, personally, in 2015, my wife and I had our first daughter, codenamed Peanut as we call her. You can see her right here. She joins me for all the shows. It's been a very weird and awesome and eye-opening experience trying to figure out how to be a good dad to this little kiddo. So that's kind of the pinnacle of the year for me. Out of all the other really cool things that have happened, that is definitely the best of all of them. So moving on to 2016, what is 2016 going to bring? I gotta tell you guys, I am more excited about 2016 than I was about 2015 in 2014, if you followed any of that. 2016 is going to be huge. 2016 is going to be huge at the shop because we're going to probably be busier than we have ever been before. With all this diesel stuff and the camshaft thing and the clock spring recall, all of that starting to come down, it is going to be an incredibly profitable year to be a Volkswagen technician. But that's only one part of the, humble mechanic world, so to say. From the blog point of view, there's two things that I'm going to be focusing on: more and better. When it comes to better, my focus is going to be better content delivery, better editing, better audio. I've upgraded my audio a little bit to hopefully eliminate the potential for all those stupid audio glitches that we had all throughout 2015. But the content is really going to be my main focus. I also want to make sure that I'm giving you guys what you're asking for in the form of the Q&A shows. So I'm focusing really hard on doing a better job with those. Maybe getting the questions done a little faster so I can answer more questions, cutting them up and putting them out one question only instead of the whole video, which has worked pretty well in the past. So just sort of tweaking and tuning up every little aspect to make the show better for you guys. Now, when it comes to more, this is where it gets really fun. You guys have been following, I've been doing a lot of really quick, like 1-minute videos showing failures, showing different things at the shop. There's going to be a lot more of that. I love doing that because it's a quick, here's what it is, move along, go about your day. Gives me a minute or so to talk about what's going on with a particular problem. The exploded turbocharger is a great example of what those really quick 1.5 minute videos can look like. So there's going to be more of that. There are also going to be more failed parts videos. I'm trying to step out of my comfort zone a little bit and pull some parts that maybe aren't as commonly failing, but are a bit interesting and fun to talk about. In addition to the failed parts, we're still going to be doing the top 5 failures videos. You guys seem to really love that. It's fun to sort of relive some of the really common failures on older generations, as well as what's currently failing right now. So those are still going to be happening. I also want to do more motivation. I feel like I might have sort of moved away from it a little bit, but I want to make sure that I'm motivating you guys as technicians, as mechanics, as whatever the reason you watch this show. I want to motivate you in that way. If you're a young technician, I want to motivate you and help you get out of the funk, help you not worry about some of the negativity and crap that goes on in the shop. Focus on your job and focus on taking care of your customers, which will lead to the important things that you guys keep asking me: how do I make money as a technician? I also want to do more teaching, more simple things. This is how a throttle body works. This is how a wheel bearing works. This is what an intake manifold is. Really quick, really simple, really informative videos, sort of going back to basics. We get caught up, the more we know, the more we move away from the very, very basic stuff. And we forget there's a lot of people that don't know what a throttle body is or don't know what a piston is. So I want to sort of focus on that and make sure that I'm not missing some very important information for you guys. Because remember, knowing what a piston is, knowing what a valve is, and knowing how they work is the base foundation of understanding advanced engine management systems. If you don't know that simple stuff, you're never going to know how engine management systems work. So I want to take a little bit of a step back and focus on some of the really simple things about cars. Also in 2016, I'm definitely focused on going to SEMA again. In fact, I was talking with CRP the other day. I think my role at SEMA, well, the Apex side really, is going to be quite a bit bigger than it was this year. There's talk of maybe even me doing a presentation, which Should be awesome. I'm already nervous about it, but it should be a good time. So more on that down the road. You know, that's not till November of next year, but sort of the planning of that kind of stuff does start now. Also want to try and check out more Volkswagen shows. You know, we went to the last SOWO, my buddy Tony and I. Also got to check out the show down at Atlanta Motor Speedway, which is an incredible show. I'm super committed to going to that show this year because it was such a great show. Also want to check out Wookie in the Woods, which is not too terribly far from me. That's a show out in the mountains, Tennessee, North Carolina area. That should be a great time as well. Hopefully I'll have the GTI ready for it by then. And there's probably 1.5 million other things in 2016 that I really want to get done. So like I said, you guys, I am just so pumped. Now, onto the GTI. I've decided to park the GTI for the winter. It's actually going to be parked right over here. And we're going to basically be doing a full rehab of this car. Now, how deep we go into this rehab, a lot of that is going to really depend on what I find in the early stages. You know, I really don't want to go into the putting timing chains on this engine, but I kind of got a feeling we may be going that route. So if we go that route, you know, it's going to be a huge in-depth full rehab. Now, if we go the chains route, we'll probably be pulling the cylinder head and getting that sent out, and valve springs and, you know, valve job and all that stuff. But I don't want to get too far ahead of myself. I'm going to try and keep it as simple as I can. Going to be doing suspension work, going to be doing brake work, going to be rehabbing a little bit on the inside, going to be cleaning up the engine bay, going to be doing a lot of maintenance stuff on this car. And the great thing is this is going to give me an opportunity to show you guys how I do maintenance on vehicles. Now, if you drive a Mark III GTI with a VR6, you are going to want to watch every one of these videos. But let's say you don't. That's okay, because replacing spark plugs on the VR6 is going to be the same theory, the same idea as any other car out there. Sure, the nuts and bolts might be a little bit different, but the basics and the tips that I'll give you on doing this maintenance are going to be exactly the same. So as if you guys can't tell enough, I'm so excited about 2016, but I have a question for you. What do you want from thehumblemechanic.com in 2016? You know, your feedback and your guys' input is super important to me. It's what I form the show around. It's what I use as input to make the show better, hopefully for you guys, and sort of tune my content to what you guys are looking for. So in the comments, please post your thoughts, post what you want to see in 2016 from humblemechanic.com. Post what I can do for you in 2016 because, hey, like I said, I'm here for you guys. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap it up there. If you have any questions or comments, again, comment section below. Hey, if you like the video, throw it a thumbs up. I always appreciate that. You can also subscribe on YouTube or on the blog at humblemechanic.com. You can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, the blog, and obviously right here on YouTube. All right, guys, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. It's going to be like the 4th show with no beer of the day because it is 9 a.m. on Sunday, so I think that's frowned upon. Unless it's a Bloody Mary, then that's just considered brunch.